Welcome to the Dan Casper Show podcast, your chance to catch the full show anytime, anywhere. If you missed it live on the radio, no worries. We've got you covered with all the sports talk, opinions, interviews, and conversations from the show. From the Packers to the Brewers to the biggest stories in sports and around Wisconsin, it's all right here. This is the Dan Casper Show podcast. What's up, everybody? Good morning and a very happy Thursday to you all. DK Show coming to you from the TDS Sports Talk Studios this morning. Whether you are listening on the radio dials, 105.1 FM, 790 AM, streaming us up online at sportstalk1051.com. The app, download it, take it on the go. You've got your smart devices, smart speakers, and, of course, the video stream that's up and rolling right now. Appreciate you again making us a part of your starts. What do we have on the game plan for us this morning? Another game and another win for the Brew Crew last night. 9-4 victory for the Brewers. Yelly getting things started off with a home run. Jackson Cheerio staying hot from the plate. He also added a home run. You had Cooper Pratt picking up his first big league hit and his first RBI. He collected a couple of hits last night for the Crew. So Brandon Sproat got off to a really good start. Then he gave up a grand slam and then ended up leaving the game early due to a hamstring cramp. I don't know what's going on with pitchers and hamstring cramps here for the Brewers, but Chad Patrick coming in and looking like the old Chad Patrick after a couple of appearances before that where he was struggling. He goes 3 1/3, giving up just one hit, striking out 7 to earn the victory. So Brewers handing Gavin Williams a loss and not allowing him to reach double-digit wins and get those 10 wins to match Aaron Ashby and such. But Brewers will try to go for the series win today, or not series win, excuse me. They already got series win, series sweep. Trying to get the series sweep later today. We got Shane Drowan on the mound for the Brew Crew. So Brewers continue their great starts to this season. When you kind of break it down with some of the stuff that they've accomplished so far, as we approach the halfway mark on the season for the Crew, they have a season high 19 games above 500. They're 113 runs scored so far in the month of June is the most in Major League Baseball. They have the second fewest runs allowed in the National League, and they've got the most home wins in Major League Baseball right now. So, but just a really good start, first half so far here for the Brew Crew. Plenty of Brewers chat to get to here this morning. So we'll get to that here in just a little bit. We'll continue our daily Giannis talk and just as we get close to the NBA draft next week and that. But some more rumblings and rumors or whatever the heck you want to call it out there. So we'll keep you posted on that and what's kind of some of the latest talk surrounding Giannis and a potential trade as we approach that soft deadline coming up next week. It's Thursday, and we got the draft just a few days away. So is it actually possible that maybe the Bucks don't trade him before the draft here? So we'll throw a little bit of that talk in there. So we've got Jake Boakes joining us after being out last week. Jake will be joining us here this morning. So if you have any outdoor-related questions, please send those on over via that Shoe Doctor's bullpen line with a quick text at 715-830-1912. It is also Am I Wrong Thursday. So what's brought to you by Mike Star Market. What's a sports take, sports opinion, sports thoughts where you'd say, am I wrong for thinking this? Am I wrong for saying that? Keep it sports-related. And then, as we started off last week, let's do a little 3 up and 3 down. 3 sports items that are up. It's like stock reports. 3 sports items that are up, and maybe 3 sports items, things, teams, players that you would say are down. Trending up, trending down. 3 up, 3 down. Give me 3 for each. So you can send those on over whenever you would like. But that's kind of where we're at here for the game plan for this morning. So let's get things going here in just a skosh here. We're going to lead things off talking a little Brewers, talk a little bit about Jackson Cheerio continuing to stay hot at the plate. Cooper Pratt collecting a couple of hits last night, maybe taking the pressure off a little bit. Finally got that off his shoulders after his second game. So we'll hit that up. We'll talk a little bit about Game 3, looking ahead to the series finale, and then a little bit of an eye towards that Brave series, which will start tomorrow. Brewers announcing that Jacob Mizorowski will start the first game of that series against the Braves tomorrow night. So you got Sprout going, and Kyle Harrison will also be in that series too. But let's talk some Brewers, and we've got intern Carter back with us too. So we'll get him on board here, but let's take our first break, and then we'll get the leadoff going here. We're going to jump right into it this morning, talking plenty of baseball. We'll be right back after these few words. Summer cookout season is here, and nobody does summer grilling better than Mike's Star Market in Eau Claire. From premium steaks and fresh burgers to brats and chicken, you will find quality and value throughout the store. So before your next cookout, stop by Mike's Star Market and stock up on the freshest ingredients around. You can visit them today at 2238 Heimstead Road, and make sure to follow their Facebook page as well. Mike's Star Market in Eau Claire, helping make every summer gathering a memorable one and a delicious one. Should also know, too, the Express were rained out yesterday, which probably is no surprise given the amount of rain that we got yesterday. So they were supposed to have a doubleheader against Wausau. So see when that's going to be made up. But they're going to be on the road tonight for a quick road game against Duluth. But they will be back at Carson Park tomorrow night, Saturday, and Sunday for Father's Day. So if you want to get on over to Carson Park for Father's Day, take Dad out to a baseball game, you'll have that opportunity too. So, but shout outs, they wrapped up their first hitting clinic for the kiddos yesterday. Hudson took part of it over at Momentum Baseball Academy. So shout out to the Express players over there for doing a really good job with that first clinic. So let's speaking of baseball and such, he's back because he was at a tournament in, was it Milwaukee last week, intern
Milwaukee.
Carter? So what tell us a little bit about the tournament, because you were telling me a little bit something off the air, something really cool about one of the teams that you guys actually beat, right?
Yeah. It was a PBR tournament in Milwaukee. It's one of the biggest tournaments in the state. It's called the Rock. And 76 teams in the tournament, so really some good teams. We got to play a team affiliated with the White Sox, so they're out of Chicago. They've got the same jerseys as the White Sox, same hats. They've got the old City Connect uniforms, which was pretty neat to see.
Yeah.
And we got to beat them, but we went 1-2 over the weekend. Just really good experience, but there were some good teams there, some prospects.
Is that the first time you've been down there? Now you're a coach with the ball club, right? Was that the first time you went down there with them?
Yeah.
So it wasn't at AmFam or anything like that?
No, so it's at this there's a complex in Milwaukee, and they made some fields look like MLB fields.
Oh, nice.
So like they have Fenway Park we got to play on with the pretty much a green monster.
Oh,
the
sweet.
massive left center field wall. So it was pretty neat.
That is sweet.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So, well, welcome back. Now, got more tournaments on the docket, I'm assuming, coming up here. So, keeping your summer busy and such. Yep. So, well, speaking of baseball in Milwaukee, the Brewers picking up another win last night. Yelich getting things started off with a home run. Then you had Jackson Cheerio. I mean, the Brewers' offense was just going after Gavin Williams in the early part of that game. Brewers putting up 3 runs in the bottom of the first. Thank you, Salvatore, for getting a nice two RBI double in that first two. Got a little talk from my kids saying it's about time your boy finally showed up. So Brewers added a couple more in the second there too, but Brandon Sproat giving up a grand slam in the top of the fourth to make things a little bit more interesting. But Brewers able to tack on A couple more thanks to Jackson and such, and a couple more insurance runs in the 8th. But Sproat was off to a really good start until that grand slam, and then he leaves the game due to a cramp at his hamstring. Doesn't sound like it's anything serious, and should be able to continue with his normal routine. So, can't ignore giving up that grand slam and kind of what led to the grand slam. But if you just look at the first couple of innings from Sproat, a guy who's been inconsistent at times this year, I mean, the guy looked like he was finally kind of showcasing why the Brewers are really high on him and his talent, because, I mean, it's nothing to shy. I mean, you begin the first inning with 10 pitches, 2 strikeouts. Second inning, you add a couple more strikeouts. I mean, a little over 3 innings, and you get 6 strikeouts on there. So there was a lot of good from Brandon Sproat. It's just that grand slam and that 1 inning there is kind of just the ugly thing that's hanging around with his performance from yesterday.
And, you wonder if the cramps maybe played a little bit part of it, but that's kind of hurt him a lot this year, is the big inning.
Yeah.
And 2 more walks in 3 2/3. So, again, I think the cramps may have affected it a little bit. But
yeah, but maybe there is something to, I think, could kind of hopefully build upon that. Chad Patrick, who did come in after his last couple games where he looked a little sketchy and such. Maybe it was the haircut that he got or such, but he looked like old Chad Patrick, going 3 1/3, giving up just 1 hit and 7 strikeouts, and getting credited with the win. So it was good to see him able to come in and eat up some innings where the Brewers only had to use 2 more pitchers after that, so that they're a little bit more fresh, considering that this pitching staff now is starting to get a little bit banged up, even though some guys are getting close to returning. But, I mean, it was good to be able to have Chad Patrick coming out of the pen and essentially another starter and looking like old Chad Patrick, I thought was huge last night for the Brewers.
yeah, and we talked about at the beginning of the season how deep we are in pitching. That's pitching starting to get a little thin with all the injuries. So when your starter only goes 3 2/3, you're going to need somebody to eat up innings, and Patrick did a really good job yesterday.
Yeah. Cooper Pratt gets the I don't even know if there was a little pressure or monkey after that, but we're all human. You want to get that first hit out of the way, right? You want to get your first major league hit so you can keep that ball and that. So he got that, and then later on he gets his first RBI. He's got his first multi-hit game in his second game. So kind of getting the firsts out of the way to take some of that pressure off.
The only question I had is, do you keep both baseballs or only one?
Well, his locker was loaded up with some baseballs, it looked like, in the background. I think there was like 3 baseballs in the case or something. But, keep them up on the shelf. And the more you collect, you probably just like, okay, that one maybe not as important anymore, and you just move this one. Like, so whenever he gets his first home run, if he can get that ball and put that up there too. So, but good to get it out of the way. I mean, this Brewers are going to roll with him, and you just hope that you're going to get better production than what you were getting from Joey Ortiz and David Hamilton to an extent, and that. So hopefully it's just the beginnings of a very fruitful, long career for the crew.
I think the nice thing for him is the expectation isn't that high because of what you've seen so far this year. So really, he only has to hit 250, and we'll be happy with that.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll say this: it's kind of surprised me a little bit. I mean, I get the excitement and such, but the fans support already, like at American Family Field. I mean, it's easy to have when your last name's Cooper and you can chant Coop and that, but to see the excitement surrounding the fan base too, that's got to be such a cool feeling for a guy who's making his major league debut, to see that he's got the instant support of a fan base that we know is a very passionate fan base when it comes to the Brewers too. So, Jackson Churio with another home run. This kid, for missing a big chunk of the first part of the season, already up to 10 home runs, and just the tear that he is on. I know a question that we have asked once in a while, and I know you threw it out there too. When do you stop saying that he's a superstar? Like, is he now considered a superstar? The way he's playing right now, you kind of look at it, but I mean, this is just a really an unbelievable run that he's on, and 158 at bats, 10 home runs, hitting 314. His OPS is a whopping 936 right now. It's hard to argue. I think it's too late for him to make an all-star push, but I think this is kind of the level that when he first made his debut, that we were wondering if this is the type of player we're going to get when Jackson Chourio really kind of settles in and gets more experience.
Yeah, and he's trying to make an all-star push, 6 home runs in his last 7 games. But the thing that's been different is the power, because he's been really good for average the last couple of years, but all of a sudden this month he's turned on his power, and the Brewers could use a little bit more, so it's been needed.
Yeah, I think it was last week or maybe the week before, we had somebody throw the question out there, do you think anybody's going to get 20, or do you think Jackson Chourio is going to get 25 home runs? And I'm like, I don't know if anybody's going to get 25 home runs, but right now on this pace, if he keeps this up, do we go back to the preseason talk of 30 home runs, even with missing the first? I think that's still a little high. Yeah. Eventually, I think he's going to cool off. I mean, baseball is all about ebbs and flows and hot streaks, cold streaks, all that sort of stuff. But, he's a lot of fun to watch at the plate at this point. And it comes at a good time, too, where Terang's cooled off a little bit. I know he had a home run the other day and that, but he was off to such a great start to the season. Contreras has just been consistently solid. I really like that that top 4 with Yelly and Yelly and Chourio, Terang and Contreras, and that seems to be kind of the 4 that they're settled on. And I really like that top 4. I think don't really mess with that at this point.
Yeah, they provide a lot of run support for your pitching staff, especially when Chourio's this hot and Yelich hits for average, and then you never know Terang, right? He can hit one out and he can hit a single. It's a really good top 4. I
like that top 4. I know the first 40-some games of the season, they had a different lineup, all the time, but this has been the most consistent top 4. And and then if you get Vaughn in there, mixed in with Bowers, you're talking about a 5-6 within there. I think this is where I feel like too that I've really cooled off on whether they're going to make a move to add a position player by the deadline. I don't see it happening. If they do, it's a call up of Jet Williams to play third. I think that's it. They're not trading for a bat. I don't see it.
Yeah, and I think just looking at the lineup from last night, the lineup looks really good. You have a dead spot with kind of Hamilton and Pratt. You don't know at the end of the lineup, but your top 7 look really good right now. Garrett Mitchell is red hot, and he was sitting 6 last night.
Yeah.
So when you can get production from the bottom of the lineup, they're going to be even better.
And if Frelick just starts to get it going here, if you get a Frelick that gets close to last year, to have him towards the bottom of the lineup, and Garrett Mitchell's been showing some more pop here as of late. So the way they're playing, I don't see a position player move unless there's an injury, knock on wood, unless there's something like that. I don't see it. Who would you necessarily want out besides David Hamilton, probably for a lot of people if you want more power, but I don't see them trading for a guy to bring in. And I know it's not going to be this year, but Andrew Fisher already hit a home run in Double-A. It's all right, just pick it up where he left off at Single-A for crying out loud. So maybe he can make an immediate jump for next year over at third base. But what he is doing right now from a power perspective is wow. To see him go on the world stage at the World Baseball Classic and continuing that right now is a lot of fun to watch. But I think, how much does the chemistry factor into this too with this group? When you talk about they're scoring runs, they're winning ball games, and I get it. When he gets to the postseason, do you want a little bit more home run power? Which I could buy that. I definitely could buy that, but I don't see them making that at this current point in time. Because you look at the third base market too. Is there anybody out there that's screaming immediate upgrade from a power standpoint? I don't think so. You got Chapman, but he's got so much left on that contract from the Giants that Brewers aren't going to do that. They're not going to pay the rest of his, was it 4-year, over $100 million contract? That's just not going to happen.
Yeah, and I think David Hamilton is such an underrated player. What he does for the Brewers is so important because he's just a Brewers player. Mm-hmm. He just gets on, he gets over, and then he scores and plays really good defense. So I think this lineup really works well, and especially when you're getting the power from Churio and Mitchell, you don't need that power from the bottom of your lineup. You just need them to get on for the top of your lineup.
Hamilton almost acts as another leadoff hitter for Christian Yelich.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's after that first AB where Yelly, leads things off. But if Hamilton, even if he just bunts to get on, to use that speed, if he's on, he's like that leadoff hitter for Yelich when that lineup turns around, which, I mean, not bad. I'm hoping that there's runners on base when Christian Yelich goes up to the plate, right? I mean, we all want that. So when that lineup turns over, and then, if you're lucky to have a Frelick or a Hamilton or a Cooper Pratt on base, and then you've got Yelly, Churio, Teranga, Contreras, I mean, those are your run producers to get those guys across the board. I mean, Yelly can hit homers, Churio can hit homers, Teranga can hit homers, Contreras, Bowers, we've seen him be the home run. Do they have enough power right now to make a run in the postseason? Is probably the biggest question fans have, right? I mean, that's where we're at, and we got a long ways to go before we get there. We're not quite to the halfway mark, but I don't see them adding a bat at the deadline.
And it's a fair question, but I think the difference between this year and last year is you're just getting more production from the top end of your roster. I think last year the left side of your infield was a little bit better, and we're getting on more, and the top was just singling them in. Mm-hmm. And you're getting a lot more power from the top end of your roster. And so, again, I don't think you need to make a altering move to this roster because you're going to have to give up a prospect. And right now I don't want that to happen with how they're playing. So this line is very cohesive, and it works really well, obviously. So I don't think they need to make a move.
In the last 30 days, the Brewers are 14th in the amount of home runs. So they're in the middle of the pack across Major League Baseball. They've hit 35 home runs in the last 30 days. The number one team, it probably doesn't surprise a lot of people, is the Athletics for the one game. They've had 47. Pittsburgh's actually second at 42. So, I mean, you're talking about 35 where the Brewers are at, and, low to mid 40s. It's not that far off the pace. Now, Dodgers are sitting there at 41. They're just kind of continuing that trend in that. But, I mean, if you look at what have you done for me lately here, they're about middle of the pack in home runs. Now, when you do year to date, and Milwaukee is still 25th out of 30. They're at 67 home runs, but I'm curious to see if the trend continues here, because if, let's say we get into July and into right before the trade deadline and this team is consistently hitting more home runs, is that need there to add that other bat? I think that diminishes it.
And I think this roster just needs to be towards the middle of the pack in terms of home runs because of every way they score. Mm-hmm. A lot of their runs aren't going to come through the home run ball. So if they're in the middle of the pack, that's pretty good, and that's good enough to make a run in the postseason.
In the month of June, if we just look at the month of June, Brewers are tied for the third most home runs. Again, Athletics 35, Tigers 32, Brewers are tied with the Rockies at 27. So maybe kind of keep an eye on that trend, because in the month of May they were dead last with 18 home runs. And then if we look at April, they were dead last. So April they were dead last, May they were dead last, right now in June tied for the third most home runs. Riding a hot streak right now.
That'll play.
Yeah, that'll play. We got to take a quick break, but hey, send us your thoughts on the Brew Crew. You can hit us up, 715-830-1912. We'll be right back after these quick words. Summer is here, and that means it is time to hit the road in something that you love and reliable. At Toyson Ford, you will find a great selection of new and pre-owned vehicles ready for every adventure. You're looking for power, comfort, reliability. They've got it all backed by a team that's committed to making your car buying experience easy and stress-free. So whether it's a weekend getaway or your daily drive, make sure that you are riding in style this summer. Toyson Ford in Chippewa Falls, where your next journey begins. So game 3 today. What do we got? 1:10 first pitch. Shane Drone is going on the mound for the Brewer crew. We've got Parker Messick going for the Guardians. So little lefty on lefty action in the matchup today. But Shane Drone's coming off of a loss against the Phillies, where he went 5 innings, 8 hits, 4 earned runs, but did have 7 strikeouts in that game. So far in the month of May, in 3 games that he has started, he is 1-1 with a 5.28 ERA. So this comes off a month of May where he appeared in 7 games coming out of the pen, where he threw up a 1.72 ERA. So maybe Drone on a little bit of a Sproats kind of category here, but I think for Drone at least, we've seen what he can do out of the pen, so we kind of know like that dude's got talent. We've seen that in the bullpen. Maybe still a little bit up in the air about his ability to be a starter, even though it's just a couple games in, as a starter there. But again, kind of like Sproat, we know the talent is there. It's just fine-tuning a lot of that stuff and putting it together.
Yeah, and I think eventually he will go back to his bullpen role, but with all the injuries right now, he's had to step up. And I don't think he's done a bad job at all, but
no.
He's definitely better in the bullpen.
Yeah. I think, you look at a lot of the fact that, and this is what, the Brewers winning all these games when they've got Woodruff, working his way back, Logan Henderson trying to work his way back. The fact that they're winning all these games is allowing the Brewers to be cautious and maybe take it slow with a Woodruff, with a Logan Henderson, or any other, pitcher or such, where they don't have to okay, we got to go out and make a move here. We got to make this. We got to call up this guy. The fact that they're still winning games because they're getting some offensive support, and, Robert Gasser the other night having a great start. And Brandon Sproat had a great start up until that grand slam last night. And what Jacob Mizorowski and Kyle Harrison are doing leading the pack right now. So it's allowing this team to not have to rush to get those pitchers back and maybe even put them in, harm's way and protecting them from themselves a little bit too. So the fact that they're winning these games without those is just that's even the more impressive, one of the most impressive things too.
And guys have stepped up when they needed to, Gasser hasn't been awful. I mean, Sproat hasn't been awful. They've not been great, but they're fine 4th and 5th starters in your rotation. You'd like a little more consistency, but it'll work for this team, especially when they're scoring 9 runs a game.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. They're getting the job done, right? Mm-hmm. They're getting the job done, and it's maybe we're being a little too excited, middle of June and that. But I think that's what you got to do as fans. And I mean, baseball is such a long season. When your team is playing incredibly well, like the Brewers are, be happy about it. Don't be like, well, let's see what they are like in September, October. We'll get there when we get there. And right now, enjoy the ride.
I'm hoping for 100 wins at this point.
Hey, I'm just saying, not to get too far ahead, but they might do it. They might do it. So they've got this series. We've talked about this stretch with their schedule. We'll see if they can get the sweep today. With a little eye towards tomorrow in this weekend series, that is a huge series, just I think from a benchmark standpoint. I mean, it's not going to determine, playoff standings or anything like that, but from a benchmark standpoint, to go, you have the Brewers, one of the hottest teams in Major League Baseball, one of the best teams so far in Major League Baseball, going up against maybe the best team in Major League Baseball with the Braves on the road too. And you're throwing Miz, you're throwing Harrison. What a fantastic kind of, again, benchmark as we approach the halfway mark of this season. Not to overlook today's game and such, but baseball fans, I mean, you got to be excited for this series coming up here. I know as a Brewers fan, it's going to be tough. but I'm excited to see how this team matches up against a Braves team that has just been just I don't know if lights out is the best way, but just a fantastic team so far, and maybe catching them at a good time too, because the Braves are riding a 3-game losing streak. They're 4-6 in their last 10, but I don't know. Regardless, it'll still be a good matchup that I'm excited about.
Well, and seeing Miz and Harrison pitch against them is going to be extremely fun. Just seeing what those guys can do, but you're going to have to score runs in that series for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. And when you look at the rest of June, then you've got the Reds for a couple series, and then that Cubs one in there too, where Cubs are going to be coming over to AmFam Field, and they're going to want a little revenge. And well, Pete Crow Armstrong's playing better here too, so that should be a really good finish to the month of June. But hey, take it game by game first, right? And let's complete the series sweep against the Guardians. Don't apologize. I know they're like, Ramirez has been out and they've been dealing with some injuries too. You don't apologize for wins. You play who you have to, who's on your schedule, and you come away with these W's. So I like it. I like it. There's a lot to like right now. For crying out loud, even Murph's banged up and they're still getting the job done. I got to imagine that's got to be killing him to sit on the bench. Like if I'm a coach or manager, I can't sit.
Yeah.
I can't sit. I got to be standing the whole time. It's just kind of weird to see Chris Hook coming out there and making all the changes. And then the only time you see Murphy really is when there's a home run and guys are coming in for high fives, and you just see him sitting there holding up his hand during the game. So,
but no IL stint for our manager.
Nope.
He'll fight through it.
Yep. I think what they said procedure probably during the All-Star break, but that's where I was kind of curious too. They don't have a benchman coach. Mm-hmm. So where the duty's going to be going, and it just makes sense when it's pitching. Chris Hook does. You trust him to be able to go out there and do that stuff. But all right, we got to take another break before we wrap up the first hour. Coming up next hour, we'll talk a little hoops. What's the latest in the drama of Giannis and the Bucks? We'll go through some of the latest talk out there on the socials as we inch closer and closer to the NBA draft. Is it possible the Bucks might not even trade Giannis before the draft? Well, there's some of that talk now out there. So we'll hit that up coming up in the next hour. Send us your 3 ups and 3 downs. 3 sports-related items where their stocks are up. 3 sports-related items where maybe their stocks are down. All right, quick break. We'll be back to wrap up the first hour after these few words. Summer puts your vehicle to the test, and AJM Automotive is ready to help you pass that test and win that battle against summer heat. With 2 convenient Eau Claire locations, AJM Automotive can handle everything from oil changes and inspections to brakes, tires, and major repairs. Before your next road trip, make sure your vehicle is ready for wherever summer takes you. You can trust the team at AJM Automotive. 2 locations, 1 commitment, keeping you safely on the road all summer long. You can check out their website at ajmautomotiveservices.com to schedule your appointment. So wrapping up the first hour here, as we know, Brewers again, 1:10. Coverage will begin 35 minutes prior. You can tune into that game right here on the radio dials, 105.1 FM and 790 AM. Should also note, too, the state baseball tournament will wrap up today with championship games in each division. So that'll be there. And I know Rice Lake girls soccer is going to be in action tomorrow for state, too. So starting to wrap up that prep spring sports season. So one other quick note, too, from yesterday. We were talking a little bit about Andrew Fisher and, hitting a home run, but Jesus did leave the game early. A collision with a teammate. They're calling it right now. Last I saw was a quad contusion. So hopefully nothing too serious, but I was kind of waiting to see, was Cooper Pratt being called up? Would he be called up to AAA and, kind of replace him in that? So I think this probably does delay it just a little bit, but we'll see. I kind of like seeing him and Fisher, though, together now, maybe a little bit in Double-A, especially on the left side of that infield. Maybe, A lot of Brewers fans, we how many times have we talked about the left side of the infield at the major league level? We'll look at your Double-A team right now with Jesus and Fisher. Well, that is a pretty good left side of the infield over there. So
if you get a chance to go to a Double-A Brewer game right now, you better go because they may not have a better team for a long time.
I mean, their Triple-A is loaded, their Double-A is loaded. No wonder why they have the number 1 rated farm system in Major League Baseball. But Fisher had 20 homers for the Timber Rattlers. That's a franchise record for the Timber Rattlers. He did, played maybe half a year?
Yeah.
Maybe 20 home runs. That's ridiculous. You just hope that translates to whenever he does get called up. I mean, holy moly. Maybe this is the next guy that they're going to sign to a long-term deal for cheap. I don't know, but is there a guy whose stock is any higher right now in the minor league system for the Brewers? I mean, I know Jesus is the number 1, but I mean, just like for the arrow trending upward, Fisher's got to be right up there if he is, if not number 1 for what he's showing at the plate.
Well, and it's not just in Double-A. You look at what he did in the World Baseball Classic, and I keep going back to because that was against MLB pitching.
Yeah.
And he hit I think he hit 364, a couple home runs. I mean, he crushed it.
Yeah.
And then he comes to high A and doesn't miss a beat. I mean, this guy's going to be special. And for a team that doesn't have any power, I mean, just thinking about next year with the possibility of Made, Pratt, and Fisher, and you still have Terang, I mean, this is going to be fun. Going to be fun to watch.
Now, I don't know, because then I'm sure some people are going to be, well, that's a logjam of a lot of infielders. They all can't play. Yeah, I don't know how that would all play out. I think Made, if they wanted to put him at third, he has the arm strength to play. I mean, he did throw, 100-mile-per-hour throw earlier in the season, if that is something. But then you got Fisher, and I don't know if Fisher would be a potential first base. I mean, that's down the road at this point in time, but we'll kind of see how it plays out. I just wonder, the guy that's in AAA right now for third base, who, when he was drafted, is Brock Wilken. And I wonder if, we talk about potential trades and such as that somebody, and he isn't really hitting that well. I know he had the scary injury, was it last year or the year before? But, I mean, he's only hitting 169 and 3 home runs right now in AAA. So, and that's, and this was a guy, too, when you go back, I've got 2024. He had 17 home runs. 17 home runs, but then he had that injury. So I don't think he's quite all the way back yet. But you kind of wonder, with the emergence of Fisher and the insane rise, if maybe that's a guy that could potentially be a possible trade candidate down the road.
And when you have the best rated farm system, the players are going to have to play well to have a chance to move up. And like right now, I'd pick Fisher because there's no shot Wilken moves up this year. So it's only next year. And right now, I'd take Andrew Fisher over him. So he's got some work to do, but the depth is there. I mean, an injury, and all of a sudden he gets called up, and maybe he figures out in the MLB level.
You got the roster up right now for the AAA squad here. If they were to make a move, I still don't think they're going to do it, but let's say Scooble. And let's say the Tigers wanted a bunch of prospects. Well, Tyler Black, I think, is in a logjam. He's not going to be an everyday player at this point in time at the major league level. I don't know if that would be attractive for teams. You've got, we just talked about Brock Wilken. Eddie's Leonard, who's got 10 home runs right now. It's not going to be Lara. Jet Williams has 9 home runs. I don't think they would trade him, but who knows? There's a lot of names on that thing that they could potentially put a package together if they wanted to.
And all our top prospects are in Double-A.
Yeah.
These aren't even our best prospects, so.
Right. So, and these are just position players. Mm-hmm. We're not even talking about pitchers, because they probably will have to put a pitcher or two as part of that package. So, I think Brewers could easily put together a package that would intrigue the Tigers for sure. It's just, will they? would they do that? I don't think they would include Garrett Mitchell in a trade package this year, even with Lara. That one might be the chemistry one that I'd be a little bit worried about. And right now he's playing well, so I never say never, but they if they wanted to pull off a Skubal trade, they easily could.
Yeah.
They easily could. And
that's what made actually the Lara extension for me so interesting and surprising, because you've got a logjam of outfielders, and it's not like they're going to be gone next year. You still have club control with Garrett Mitchell and Sal Frelick. Obviously, Churio's got the extension, and Yelich isn't going anywhere. So, and like you talked about, if Lara comes up, he's got to start.
Yeah.
There's no real opportunity to start anytime soon. And so I thought maybe he would be a tradable asset, but then they signed him to an extension. So I think that's what made it so surprising for me.
That's why I wonder if Mitchell is more of an off-season trade candidate.
Yeah.
Getting into the off-season, and then that's something that they – and we kind of saw that last year a little bit, when they traded Isaac Collins and Caleb Durbin and that. I know that's a little bit different, but – I just wonder if that's more of an off-season move where they don't rush it this year. Because you really don't have to. You don't have to rush it. But if he keeps playing, if he keeps hitting, take advantage of it right now with Mitchell. So, or just don't trade my guy Sal Frelick, please. Just don't do that. So I don't want that. But all right, we got a couple minutes left to the top of the hour. So next hour, we'll hit up a little hoops talk. I know the drama of one Giannis and Bucks and rumors. I don't blame Giannis. It's not Giannis. That's really, I don't think it's Giannis doing this. It's just, I think we just want an answer, and we're trying to find answers at this point, whether he's going to be a Buck or not. So we'll go through some of the latest rumors, rumblings, whatever the heck you want to call it at this point, as we're just a few days away from the NBA draft. And if that is, in fact, the deadline, what happens if he isn't traded by the draft next week? Does that mean the Bucks are going to keep him? Or could they still trade him after the draft? We'll hit that up and get your thoughts on that too. Send us your 3-ups and your 3-downs. You can shoot those on over to that Shoe Doctors bullpen line at 715-830-1912, or hang out in the Section 105 chat room. That you can send over your 3-up, 3-downs over there too. So, and your Mike Star Markets, am I wrong? Give me a sports take, sports opinion where you would say, am I wrong? All right. Got some news updates, and we'll be right back after